Hi, I'm Amber Knar. I'm with Bellus Academy, and I am an instructor for hair. And today we are working on just a style. Since we've got Valentines coming up, we're just kind of to do something a little bit romantic, fun, and easy for any type of holiday. So I've already kind of started, and I've kind of got it sectioned out because the top portion we're going to switch to a different technique. And at the bottom here, we're just working on some barrel curls. And then we're actually pinning them because we really want to get a lot of memory from the style and kind of let these curls set. And we're going to kind of progressively get a little bit more drag from the base, which is going to kind of give us a loose style that's going to kind of sit outward and have lots of nice movement through it. So what I'm going to do through here is just take sections about as big as your curling iron. If they're too large, then you're probably not going to get enough curl out of it. So you just want to put a little styling product on it so it really kind of holds that curl a little bit better. Heat up the mid shaft, that way you get a little bit more curl through that instead of just on the ends, so that curl lasts a little bit longer. Kind of work out through the ends. And always count to 10. That's a good amount of time to let that hair heat up a little bit. And then you just start stacking those curls on top of each other. So you can see they're starting to get a little bit longer towards the base area, so that curl is just going to be mostly on the ends once we get up to the top of our section. So if your hair is a little bit straighter, sometimes you really need to get some product in there to help it really curl. Maybe even leave that curl in there a little bit longer to help it stay a little bit more. If your hair is a little bit more on the thick side, a little bit on the coarser side, sometimes taking larger sections will really help it from curling up a little too much, because the problem with hair that's a bit more on the coarse side is it really wants to curl and hold that curl a little too much. So you kind of have to change it for the hair texture a little bit. If the hair is finer, you might want to take skinnier sections, that way you can really put a little bit more curl into it. So starting that curl from the middle of the section, again, so you can kind of put more curl into it than just on the ends. Making sure to get the ends in, that way you don't have the fish hooks, which are always fabulous and fun stuff. And I really like this hairstyle just because I like the different types of curls, the different texture that it's going to give. It's just very fun, has a lot of movement to it. And right now there's like a big movement of that 30s look to it, so this is going to kind of complement what's going on in the trends right now. Important that we pull that hair up to kind of like a 90-degree base, because if I curl it from down here, it's not going to have a lot of volume. So I really want to lift it up so it has more volume to the actual style. And after you put that product in, you always want to work it through so you get it saturated through the entire section. Again, kind of heat up the mid area, hold the ends as you curl under. Just allows you to control that section a little bit more. 7, 8, 9, 10, right. I like working with these pins a lot on different styles because they just don't have a lot of tension, but so you don't put an indent on your curls as you go through. I mean, this is something that you can do on yourself at home as well. You don't necessarily always have to pin it. you just might start your curl, like on the bottom here, you might start your curl and keep it in really tight. And as you work up to the top, you just start your curl a little bit lower and lower each time. So that way you can, because I don't know if I could do this to myself, it might be a little intense to try to put it all up. So what I would do, so if I started my curl, let's say on the bottom up here, and I wanted to keep it real tight, that's how I would do it. But then as I worked up through this section, I might go from here to here to here to here, and that's how I could kind of get the same effect, just starting the curl in a different area. But since I'm doing it, we're going to set it all nice and or maybe you can just have a good friend explain it to you on how to do it. I'm just attaching them to the previous section. I'm going to leave these front pieces out because I'm going to again switch to a different method in that area. I'm just going to do one more row, again with finer hair. Just got a lot of it, but it's finer itself, so I just want to make sure I'm not taking my sections too big. Again, if the hair was thicker, I would probably work with thicker sections. Or if I wanted this to be really curly, I could even switch to a smaller size curling iron. I think a lot of things that I see what people do is they want to take the curl and start it from down here, and so halfway, half an hour after the style is done, it'll just be a little bit on the ends. So again, just start your curl in a little bit closer to the scalp. It really helps that hold that curl in a little bit more. And there is a reason that you take horizontal sections as opposed to a vertical, because those curls that kind of do this, like the little Shirley Temples, those are more of a vertical type of section. And when I take a horizontal section, it allows a little bit more, it adds more body, kind of gives you that finger wave look. Again, kind of just working on the vintage kind of style.